For about 5 years, I've been carrying a Spot device when I go out, and this is, I think, the Generation 2 Spot when I go out in the backcountry, and it's worked really well for me. I've been able to send messages home saying I'm not dead, but it's always been limited in cases where I knew I would need two-way communication. I've actually carried a satellite phone a lot of times. Well, the Inreach has been around for a while, and just before I went out this spring to take on the Superior Hiking Trail, I was actually going to go and buy an Inreach because I'd reached the conclusion that I needed two-way communication now for the loved ones at home to keep in touch with, to make sure, you know, it's just that everything's all right, that if there's something going on, that you have the ability to communicate back and forth. And of course, we've become so familiar using texting and whatnot that text was all I really needed. I've looked into satellite phones in the past, but I just don't believe I'm going to use it enough to justify the costs, not only of purchasing it as well as the ongoing commitment. I have used the Global Star phones. They were okay, but actually my wife said that, you know, don't even bother calling on it because the quality of the call was very poor. However, I've used the Iridium phones, which are much more expensive than the Global Star, and of course they have a better network, and they are a much better phone, and you can call from the middle of nowhere and it'd be just like you're calling on your cell phone. Anyways, long story short, I got this delivered to me today at work. It is the Spot X, and what I thought I would do today, I can't give a great big detailed review. I'll do that obviously as I go along using it, but what I would do is I think we'll go through the box, take a look at it, and then we'll go through the setup of it online, go through upgrading one device to the other, because I talked to Spot today, and what they said is that I can upgrade my device from this to that and just add the time frame on my commitment that I have with this to the Spot. So let's go through it and take a look and see what improvements they've made on this little device that goes back years. So the QWERTY keyboard on this I got quite used to, and this is a very old BlackBerry that doesn't, it's not hooked up anymore, but it was state of the art in its time. So I just consider this to be the satellite version of the BlackBerry. So let's take a look at the box. Okay, so here's a little box. Comes in, and it says right in here where, get lost when you want to, get found when you need to, all at the push of the button. So it's supposed to be good. Battery's supposed to be good for 10 days. I've read some of the reviews online. Some of the reviews suggest that you know, like with anything new, that it's probably going to be a little bit buggy. I kind of expect that. I expect, you know, firmware updates and you know, little things like that. So, you know, I don't expect it to be perfect out of the box, and you know, but I expect it to work. I do expect it to be two-way communication, and there we got charger carabiner in here. Clip. This is a Velcro device in here. Cable. I think that's it in the box. Service required, but I think we all know that you got to sign up for the Spot. Now, my service, I actually was in my account earlier today, and I took a look, and I think in 2012 when I first got the Spot, the service was about $180 a year Canadian. I think it was 200 and something last year. So that's all that's in the box. I've kind of picked through there, went through and pulled out everything that's in it. So we've got some mirrored stickers here for SOS emergencies. We have GEOS emergency response. I think this just goes on, talks about some of their rescue items, what their rescue benefits, their insurance benefits, which I do carry that currently on my other Spot there. This is their quick start guide, which we're a man. So there we go. Stop, don't return your Spot to the retailer. See this more and more packaging, you buy stuff. They don't want them going back, obviously, because they pay a discount to do it. And then they got the simplex and duplex warranty, asset tracking. Yeah, well. Okay, So we got our stickers, we got a battery charger, we got this. It's probably got no, is this some is a decal on it, or what is this thing? Anyways, okay, let's plug this little guy in here. See if it works. Plug around here. Actually, people plug it into the computer. That's the easier way to do it. Now I think there's a USB plug at the bottom. Alright, so let's take a look. So here's the device here. Obviously the button you don't want to connect is down there. Never had a problem with these buttons here. Being able to use these ones, they were all pretty straightforward. So there's our USB port, demo mode, power device on. So I'm going to assume push and hold probably. And buttons feel pretty firm. You got to press them pretty firm. Maybe this is the on button up here. Hey, there we go. Got the on button. The on button. Up on here. Important. Spot requires an active subscription and a firmware update to communicate. Visit Find Me Spot to activate your device and update its firmware. It's got an ESN and an authorization code. And alright. It's 8:40 p.m. is what it says for the time. And it's 8:49 p.m. right now here. So I don't know if you can see, that's the opening screen there. There we go. All right. Well, let's log into Find Me Spot on the computer, and we will wander on over there and activate this little guy and see what it actually can do. Plug that in, see if it does something there for us. So as you can see, actually, there's your old Blackberries. It's not all that much different. You know, text, these ones go down, these go up. They're not rounded. The Blackberry keys were rounded. They're kind of like berries. You know, I guess they had that little bump, rounded bump. These are just a flat key, more or less. So no other information on it. Let's see here. All right. Well, let's go into the account and activate this little sucker. All right. Okay, so once you pass the login screen, you've got, this is my old device that I have profile in here, and you can see my next billing date is August 11th is when it comes up. So it always comes up in August. And now the biggest complaint that a lot of people seem to have with Spot is that you got to cancel 30 days in advance, which would be. There were times where I would have canceled my subscription and I was too close to the date, or I was past the date when I knew it came up. So I get it, you know, in today's date, day and age, but yeah, that's the terms that they have on their device, and so far it seems to be working for them. But I think a lot of people prefer the hook up, go for a couple months, and then disconnect. And I travel year round when I go outdoors, so I will use my device quite often, you know, if not every month, you know, at least every other month. So there are some times, you know, I try to get out every month, or I'm doing something where I'm not in cell range. So for me, having a year-round plan works rather well. So what it says to do here is, the fella told me, he says, go down and click on your device, and it brings it up. It brings up your setting, and then up at the top here you have a couple of buttons, and this one is upgrade your Spot device. So click to upgrade, and then they want your ESN and your authentication code from your current device, which on the Spot is underneath. I gotta undo these little buttons here. Oh, one of them is already open. All right, we're just opening up the old one here to reach the authentication code, which is inside, underneath the batteries. And then you enter your authorization code. And the device is the same. Now we gotta go to the new one. Which, it's, in the new one, in this screen that you come up to activate, it's got the ESN and the authorization code right on the front of it. So, we're gonna go 0291426. Oh, it doesn't like it. Look back. Okay, what doesn't it like? Oh, it wants a dash in there. 0291436. Make sure to enter the dash when you do it. You got to enter the dash in there. Okay, so now your upgrade options then come up as you can swap or upgrade devices and maintain your current active service contract. When upgrading, you have the option of extending your current contract. If you choose any of the extension options for upgrade, additional pricing as shown may apply. So it says my options are upgrade and maintain your current active contract, upgrade and add a year extension to your current contract. And I think we will go with upgrade and maintain. We'll just try that, and then we'll see if we can always add the other to it. And we go next. Please verify the information. Click finish to complete your device upgrade. If there's any charges, you'll get charged to your credit card. Of course, they're business. Gotta expect that. Okay, so you're upgrading from this messenger with ESN to, and it's got like a bunch of question marks in there, to a Spot X with this ESN code. You've chosen the option to maintain your current active service contract. By pressing finish, your order is complete. Your new Spot device will be activated on your current service contract, and your existing Spot device will no longer have active service. By confirming your service, SOS will be active. You're responsible for all SOS messages. User guide. Okay, let's do it. And now I think as I go through this, you said I would go through having to select like the service options and whatnot for this one. So we'll find out. Right now the bar, it is thinking. It's still thinking. I'm just putting the batteries back in this device while I'm at it. Oh, okay. All right. Your Spot device upgrade is being processed. During this time, you will not be able to add new services. If you're unable to add services, view your updated device after 5 minutes. Contact customer relations. All right. And now it says firmware update required. And we're going to go. I'm going to click on this. Firmware. Select my device. I'll select the Spot X. Okay, download the updater by selecting your operating system and then install it. Enter your username, password, plug in your Spot device, press connect, update your Spot device. Alright. So this is more than a 5-step process. So what we'll do is we'll install this, and when we get to a program that opens, and before we get to plugging in our Spot device for the update, we'll check back in with you. Okay, Alright, so we're going to connect to the device. There's our little device here. See if it does anything fancy. So do not disconnect your device. Okay. Well, it's got something that comes up with the versions and the device and the latest version. I think that's something that's probably with this thing you're going to have to do a little bit, is update the firmware on them. Okay, it's doing something here. So it's doing some syncing. It came up with a off, charger connected. So, can you see under there? There we go. Update in progress. Do not disconnect. Update successful. You may disconnect your device from your computer. We'll click OK. Service plan details. Advanced. Okay, just telling me how many I get. Unlimited predefined messages, 1200 text messages, 5-minute tracking intervals, 25 cents text. Here we go. Yeah, language selection, English. I speak English. Alright, so next. 12 or 24 hour. We'll keep it on a little military time. Set date and time. 2010. It's not 2010. It's 8. Ha. Month. 0. Come on. 7. And we are 0. Come on. Oh, button. Oh no, 0. I'm pressing 9. Okay, 0, 6. I think it would go over automatically. It doesn't do that. And we are 2109. 2109. 2109. Next. Alright, so I think what we're going to do now, rather than fumbling around through this for 10 or 15 minutes, I think we're going to read the book. Always a good idea, right? So I'm going to read through the Quick Start Guide. And one thing I did notice while the Spot update program was running is that you can set a lot of your contacts up and whatnot on the Spot page, on your My Devices page. You can set like your predefined messages. You can enter them in on the computer in here, and then you can sync using the other Spot program, your Spot X program that resides on your desktop. You can sync it with your device and push it from there into here. And I think I'm going to do that because I definitely would be more comfortable entering it on the keyboard on here rather than entering it on the little buttons here. I think the buttons are great if you're in the backcountry and what's your cell number, and you key it into someone else's cell number of their wife at the pickup point, or if you ever want to reach someone and say, hey, you know what, we're going to be an hour late getting out because there's a lot of blowdown or something like that. Never happened to anyone, has it? So anyways, we're going to make sure that this gets some reception. We'll go stick it outside, let it figure out where it is. We'll send a couple of predefined messages. We'll see if they show up on here. We'll send a text to the cell phone, see if it gets now. It's supposed to have a cell number, Canadian or US cell number. And I got to figure out where to find that too. So other than that, a lot I got to learn yet with it, but that's the initial part of it. And I think we'll go through the setup. Maybe we'll make that another little video. And so far looks kind of neat, a little bit different. Thanks for watching.